Hi everyone, this is Chester Ma, and today I'm going to talk about my final thesis idea. So actually, I was bouncing around between different ideas during this semester a lot because I'm not sure if I will be back to New York for next semester. So the idea I'm going to propose today is about helping people with visual impairment in China. So, because I took UX design and disability study at IDM, I have learned the importance of accessibility for people in need. The accessibility, especially for people who are visually impaired, includes many different aspects, such as daily traveling, reading, or the use of electronic devices such as smartphones. I think with the progress of technology, the electronic product is getting way more accessible than before. For example, we have the accessibility mode in most of our smartphones, which will change the whole interaction logic of the phone if you turn it on. Simply, when you touch the screen, with your finger, the text will be read out, and you can do basic things and interactions on the phone without seeing the screen. However, when we talk about daily traveling, that's a whole different story. And unlike technology, which can be spread easily, daily traveling involves so many different aspects and potential changes, such as traffic and people, especially in the context of China. According to the Chinese Ministry of Health, China has 14 million blind people, more than any other country in the world, and the increasement of this population each year is about 550,000 people. With the largest number of visually impaired people in the world, China did not do a great job of helping them. The most basic and commonly used tool for visually impaired people is the blind cane, or what we call the white cane. A white cane allows its user to scan the surrounding for obstacles. It is white because it helps people to identify the user as visually impaired. However, according to a disability survey in China, visually impaired people are more likely to go out with a company than going out alone with a white cane, because simply they don't want other people to know that they're blind or visually impaired. Blind bricks is another tool that can guide people to certain places. Each piece of blind bricks has several bumps, which can let the blind people directly feel the difference from the normal road or bricks. And if one walks to the end of a road or there's a traffic light, these bumps will turn into dots. But the vast majority of people in China, even the government, do not realize the importance of these blind bricks. So we often can find that there are all kinds of obstacles in the middle of this blind path, like a car, telephone pole, a tree, or even a wall. Thirdly, there are guide dogs, which are also known as seeing eye dogs, which are trained to help blind or visually impaired people. But because of people's lack of understanding, we can often see the news of blind people with guide dogs getting rejected by the bus or taxi drivers. In fact, with the help of the white cane, blind path, and the guide dog, a visually impaired person is more than capable of going to a place alone without big troubles. So instead of coming up with new and fancy technology, I think it is the lack of understanding of this disability and the ignorance of the importance of blind bricks and guide dogs, which leads to a result that most visually impaired people don't feel like it is safe and convenient to go outside alone in China. And this is also the big problem that I want to solve. For the Thesis project, I want to create an outdoor physical installation which stimulates a scene of traffic and, of course, with sidewalks. The experiencer will be asked to put on a blindfold and try to go a certain place in the scene. They can decide whether they want to have a white cane or a guide dog, and of course, blind bricks will also be applied on the sidewalks. During the experience, there will be random things happening, such as there might be a car or other kind of obstacles on the blind path, and maybe there are other people bump into you, or you need to cross the street, which there are a lot of traffics. And also, if you decide to go out with a guide dog, there's a chance when you could get a taxi, but actually get refused by the driver because of the guide dog. More details will be figured out after, I think, a few trials of tests on the actual street. And I'll definitely collaborate with people who are actually visually impaired to do some interviews and to ask them help me to build out the scene more realistically. And cameras will be attached on the forehead of the experiencers, and I will make a documentary based on the project. I'm doing this project because I believe the best way to let one understand something is simply to let them try it out themselves. That's I think way more effective than any kind of lectures. And I think the major point of this project is that what messages does this experience express to people, and what takeaways do they have? And lastly, in what way the experience could influence them to do something differently than before. So this is a quick overview of my thesis project, and I do have some questions. First, do you know anyone who are visually impaired? If so, what troubles or difficulties are they facing daily? And also, any suggestions on how I could make the scene more realistic? Thanks.